What's going on, YouTube? So for the past few years, the Jeep Grand Cherokee L has been serving as a unique, rugged, and luxurious three-row option in a crowded segment. But it was always more expensive than most of the rivals like GMC Acadia, Traverse, and Explorer. That is, until now. So, with big price drops for 2025, does that make this Grand Cherokee L one of the top choices in the segment? Well, let's go ahead and find out. So like always, let's go ahead and start off by talking about what we have under the hood. So for 2025, we have just one engine choice. This is a 3.6 liter V6 engine producing 293 horsepower. The previous available V8 has been quietly discontinued from the lineup. Now you do have an 8-speed automatic transmission as well, and with the 4-wheel drive system, our combined fuel economy comes in at 21 mpg.
Now, of course, we can't wait to show you what this Grand Cherokee L is like out on the road. While we're on that drive, we'll be getting things like our sound level reading, and after that, discussing resale and reliability.
But let's go ahead and close up the hood so we can take a look at the beautiful exterior of this model as well as the interior. Now, like I just said, this exterior design has always been quite handsome. You know, Jeep has a signature look and they really roll with it across their model lineup. And that's especially true when you choose the top trim level. So you continue to have a lot of different choices with a wide range of price tags on this model. This actually today is the top spec. This is the Summit Reserve, which gives you little details like the chrome pieces throughout the 7-slat grille, which is the signature. Now, coming over here and taking a look at our headlights, we do have full LED headlights standard across the lineup. These are reflector LEDs. And then you have your daytime running light and turn signal indicator up top. Furthermore, down here, we've got our LED fog lamps. And I do want to mention ground clearance because this is a Jeep after all. Since this model comes with the available air suspension, we can get up to 10.9 inches of ground clearance. Now, as we walk around to the back, you continue with that same handsome look.
Yeah, I really like the way it looks, and I like the design touches such as this chrome piece that kind of sweeps in seamlessly into the rear. We have an exposed rear wiper, and Drew's hopping inside so we can check out the taillight elements and see if they're all LED. We have an LED brake light portion, LED reverse light, and our turn signal indicator, so all your elements are LED. I'm happy to see that. As we drop down to the lower fascia, since we do have a high-end version of this vehicle, all of this is going to be finished in a nice body color. Additionally, we have dual exposed exhaust outlets, which really kind of set off the tasteful look. Your tow rating comes in at 6,200 pounds for this model.
Now, as far as the wheels are concerned, of course, you've got a wide variety of selections between all those different trim levels. This is the top version that you can get. This is a 21-inch alloy wheel. It comes on the Summit Reserve model, and I think they look really, really nice. Another thing that is nice is the fact that we have the body color wheel arches and lower moldings. That's going to be included on the Overland trim and above. And then coming up here to our mirrors, we have a gloss black finish on board. You have your turn signal indicator built in. Blind spot monitoring and heating are both standard features. And then power folding and auto dimming on the driver's side start at the Overland trim.
Now here at the side, you'll see for the Grand Cherokee L, of course it is pretty long. It's about 205 inches long, which puts it pretty much on par with a lot of the main rivals, such as the GMC Acadia. Also, something that I'm noticing that I really like is the fact that we have roof rails, and we're also going to have a two-tone roof finish here on the top-end model. It really looks fantastic in person. Now, as far as your safety systems, Jeep knows this is a family SUV, and they're including every single one of those as standard equipment. Additionally, you do have quite a few bougie features that you can add, including a night vision assistant, as well as a hands-free highway drive assist as well. But guys, let's go ahead and check out the luxurious interior. I bet you'll be surprised. But first, if you're new here, we're brothers, and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We may be young, but we love cars.
And we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family. Let's learn a lot, have some fun with all the latest cars.
All right, let's go ahead and get into the interior. First, here's our key fob. Typical Jeep key fob on board. As you can see, you do have smart entry and you also have remote start. Those are both standard features. And then getting inside the vehicle, just reach behind the handle and that will unlock the door. Now, take a look inside this interior. Very impressive at first glance, that is for sure. Again, this is the Summit Reserve, so this is, the nicest interior you can get on the Grand Cherokee L. And what do you get? Well, that begins especially here with these seats. So this is an exclusive Palermo leather. It's a quilted leather, as you can see, really nice stuff. And when I feel of it, it is super soft and supple. This is very high-end leather, definitely very equivalent to what you get in a luxury vehicle. Obviously, lots of other material choices beginning at cloth seats on your lower trims. And as far as the adjustment, same deal. They're all going to have power adjusting seats, but we have 12-way power adjusting seats. We have power thigh extension in addition to that, and you also have massaging abilities. And then over there on the door trim, limited and above come with your memory seats. But let's go ahead and climb inside. And now that we're inside the cabin, let's go ahead and look at the rest of the materials. Now on this trim level, again, this is the finest interior combo that you can get on the Grand Cherokee L. And it's going to include a lot of leather. So you notice that same leather from the seats, that's going to actually be applied all over. It's even going to be down here on the lowest parts of this door trim with the stitching detail. We have quilting through here. We have a genuine walnut wood trim in the center section. Moving to the upper dashboard, this is all finished again in a leather-like material. We have more of that through here. More of that beautiful open pore wood. And then you have nice leather pads that run along the console for your knee to rest against. And then some piano black through the center section. But let's go ahead and fire it up with our push button start. And now let's dive into some individual features of the interior. We'll begin, as always, with our gauge cluster. This is a 12.3-inch digital cluster. It is standard across the board, and you can change several different kinds of views right through there. A head-up display is an additional cost option on your top trim levels. Now, looking at the steering wheel, we have a really nice steering wheel, leather wrapping all the way around it, more of the real wood inserted into the wheel itself, and even a leather-covered airbag cover. Top trims will have a power tilt and telescoping steering wheel with standard heating, and then your lower trims will come with a manual tilt and telescoping steering wheel. But now let's go ahead and look at interior storage. That, of course, is a big part of a 3-row family SUV like this. And when we open it up, you're going to find some donuts inside. That's because here at Car Confections, we like to put stuffed donuts in the center console to check the volume, since that is our emblem. And inside of here, we're going to find 11 donuts on board. But wait, there's more. There's the 12th one. We actually fit a full dozen inside of here, so it does pass that donut test. Now, underneath that piano black trim there, we've got a couple cup holders. Underneath of this piece of piano black trim, we have another storage cubby. This is also a wireless phone charging pad, and then has a ton of USB connections as well as a 12-volt outlet. Now, coming back to the shifter, this is Jeep's signature electronic style shifter. You're just going to twist over for drive. By the way, this is a real knurled metal. Going into reverse, you'll see the 360-degree backup camera pop up. We do have active trajectory as well as guidelines, and you can switch between a few different kinds of views on this model. And then right next to that is where you find your different drive modes that you can cycle between. You also have some 4-wheel drive controls. And then since we have a top model, which comes standard with the air suspension, that's also offered on lower trims as well, by the way, we can go through our different settings right here with this metal toggle. Now as we continue up, you have a panel of buttons here. Most of these buttons are regarding our climate control system, which is a standard 3-zone automatic setup or an available 4-zone climate setup on your top spec trim levels. We actually do have the 4-zone automatic. Very simple to make your adjustments to your zones right here with your temperature and things like that. You also, just press the climate button there, and that's how you can access both of your rear zones to make individual adjustments. Now also inside of this menu is our 3-stage heated seats. These are included in all but the base model. Ventilated seats start at the Overland trim. And then right in this panel, we also have our volume knob for the audio system. So today I'm really excited to take a listen to the highest end audio system that Jeep offers on this. This is a 19 speaker Macintosh premium audio system. We've never listened to this one before, so let's go ahead and see what it sounds like. Oh yeah, very, very nice. Really fills up the cabin nicely. Good balanced sound as well. Okay, so after the audio system, let's get into the rest of the technology here. What you're looking at today is a 10.1-inch main infotainment screen. This is running Uconnect 5. That's the newest version of Uconnect. Your lower trims, specifically the trims that go up into the limited, those are going to have an 8.4-inch display instead, but regardless, you will still get that Uconnect 5 system, and you'll get things like wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay abilities. We also have built-in navigation inside of this system. You can see what that looks like right there. Row of a few more settings up there at the top, and then also want to draw your attention to the second display. So this is a dedicated passenger display. It's of course an option, kind of the same as it is on the Wagoneer model, 10.25 inches. And you can do different things inside of this system, such as watch TV shows with Amazon Fire TV. And don't worry, the driver cannot see that display. Up top here, we've got an auto dimming mirror. Our HomeLink remotes are located up here in the visor. And while I'm up here touching this area, I do want to point out we've got this really nice suede headliner all throughout the entire roof. Then I'll go ahead and open up our panoramic sunroof so that you can take a look at that. As you can see, really nice and large roof on board. And of course, the front panel does open up.
But let's dive into the luxurious rear seat that you're going to find here in the Grand Cherokee L. Now, as far as this area is concerned, the space is going to be pretty impressive. 39.4 inches of legroom, 39.9 inches of headroom. That does make it a pretty large offering for the segment. It's not quite class leading, but it's definitely big enough for your average size adult. I'm 5'9" for reference. This seat is adjusted to Drew, who is 5'8", and I'm looking at a very solid about 8 inches of additional knee room. My feet can also easily slide up underneath the seat, and these seats do slide forward and back a really good distance, and they also recline to really maximize your overall comfort. Now, speaking of the seats, captain's chairs are actually standard on every single version of the Grand Cherokee L, so keep that in mind. You can pay $750 to get a available bench seat here in the back. However, you're noticing here on the Summit Reserve, we have this really nice center console, so this kind of elevates your rear experience to give you that executive-like seating. We have a nice storage cubby right here, and it's actually really, really deep. You can stick a lot of stuff in here. Quite a few more donuts could fit back here if you wanted to put them in the back. Now, up in front of that, we have another storage cubby, 2 cup holders, and it's good that we have those 2 cup holders because it easily fits the Stanley water bottle, which will not fit in the door trim, so keep that in mind. Now, while we're in the area, let's talk about what you're going to get features-wise. We have 4-zone climate, as Drew mentioned earlier, so both of the passengers can adjust their own temperature. Heated rear seats start on the limited grades, and if you choose the Summit Reserve, you're going to get ventilated rear seats as well as standard equipment. Down below that, we have 2 vents. We're additionally going to have a household outlet, 4 USB ports, and I just want to point out there's a ton of USB ports throughout this entire vehicle, so you definitely will be able to keep everything charged up. We have vents that come out of the B-pillar, and then if you take a look at the door trim, it's going to be nicely done, just like the front. Lots of leather, lots of wood, quilted design as well. Beautiful speaker grills, and it's even leather down at the very bottom. Just be aware that the door storage is going to be a little bit on the small side. And now let's go ahead and dive into the third row. So in order to get back here, it's quite easy. You just grab this little lever right here. That's actually going to tilt the entire seat forward and allow it to slide up and out of the way. One thing I want to point out is that with this tilting system, you wouldn't have to remove a child seat, so that's certainly a nice touch. Now, let's go ahead and climb back here and see how good the third row is. As far as numbers are concerned, we're sitting at about 30 inches of legroom, about 37 inches of headroom. As I mentioned just a little bit ago, I'm 5'9" for reference, and even with this seat slid all the way back, which is our standard for doing these third rows, I still have probably about, I'd say maybe an inch or a half an inch of additional knee room. My feet can also slide up underneath the seat, so that's pretty nice. The seats themselves, I will say, are quite comfortable. They're wide because there's only 2 seats back here, so you're not going to have quite as much seating capacity as you would in some of the rivals. As equipped today, we're in 6-passenger. You would have a 7-passenger ability if you got 3 seats in the second row, but quite comfortable for even adults. Now, as far as features, we have padded armrest over here with cup holder on the side, 2 more USB ports, and we're going to have vents coming out of this pillar. So overall, the third row is pretty impressive. I'm going to give this an in-law rating. Now, walking up to the tailgate, a power one will be included on most of your trim levels, and it's hands-free starting on the Overland trim level. As far as the space is concerned back here, we're looking at 17 cubic feet behind the third row of seats. If I fold those seats down, which I can easily do over here on the left side, I just press that one button. That's going to give me 47 cubic feet of space, and then I can also press this button, which will electronically fold the second row down, and that's going to give me a maximum of 85 cubic feet. Now, that's pretty good when it comes to overall cargo space. It's behind some of the rivals like Kia Telluride just ever so slightly, and it will be less than the Traverse and GMC Acadia, so keep that in mind, but overall a good amount of space. Now, this is a Car Confections review after all, so let's go ahead and get our cargo length, width, and height figures in case you're looking to haul something specific. So from the Drew's 5'8" driving position, we're looking at an overall cargo length of about 84 inches. From behind the second row, we're looking at about 51 inches. And from behind the third row, 19 inches. As far as cargo opening, that's going to come in at 44 inches wide, and then cargo height is a little over 30 inches tall. Now, it's worth noting that power folding third row is not a given in this segment, so it's nice that you do have that. And we do have quite a bit of additional space up underneath of here, as well as a spare tire. Well, guys, here we are behind the wheel of the Jeep Grand Cherokee. In this test drive, we're going to be discussing quite a few different things, including getting our sound level reading. But first, we want to go ahead and start by giving you a hard acceleration.
Alright, so that was accelerating up to about 55 miles per hour in this Grand Cherokee L. So like we mentioned at the spec dump, you do have just one powertrain option. It's the 3.6 liter Pentastar V6 on the Grand Cherokee L. You do have some extra options if you choose the standard wheelbase version, but the L just has the 3.6 liter now that the V8 is gone, and that makes 293 horsepower. Of course, the segment this competes in, many of the rivals, including some of the ones we've been talking about throughout this video today, like the Acadia, for example, that's a big competitor to this, especially in this top trim. That has just a turbo 4-cylinder only. So I do think that a lot of people are going to be happy with the refinement that you get out of the V6.
Yeah, I think it really matches with this vehicle's character, especially here in the luxury form. Feels luxurious. It feels special inside this cabin. So having, a nice smooth V6 under the hood, I think is definitely a good thing. I am a little sad that they got rid of the V8, but the times are changing. So unfortunately, that is the reality that we're in. So, and I don't imagine very many people were opting for that anyway. But just the one engine option this year, it's pretty healthy power numbers as well, 293 horsepower.
Now let's talk about the other aspect of the powertrain, and that is an 8-speed automatic transmission. Overall performance of this transmission is nice and smooth. Seems pretty confident in everything that it's doing. I also want to say that I do like the sound of this V6.
Yeah.
It has like kind of a raspy growl to it.
Now you do have standard 2-wheel drive or available 4-wheel drive. This is a Jeep after all, and a lot of the trim levels will actually come standard with that 4-wheel drive system, so keep that in mind. As far as your fuel economy is concerned, since we do just have the one engine set up, it's coming in at 21 mpg combined for both the rear drive and 4-wheel drive versions, 18, 25, 21, which I think honestly is worth noting because a lot of the rivals, like Drew said, are switching to Turbo 4s, and really they don't get much better fuel economy, if better fuel economy at all, compared to this V6, so I'd much rather have this. Alright, now that we're just kind of cruising down the road, I want to talk about your overall ride quality. Now, here on this top-end Summit Reserve, you can see right here on the console that we have the air suspension. So that's certainly a nice premium touch that's going to help elevate your overall ride quality with this model. However, as we've been driving this vehicle for the past, couple hours while we're just filming it, I have noticed that the ride quality is maybe not quite as good as you would expect out of something with an air suspension. I think it is a little bit more focused on the overall capability and adding that ground clearance more than giving you a super smooth ride. And it is worth noting also that we have the large 21-inch alloy wheels on the outside. And that's not to say that the ride quality is bad at all. It still actually has really good ride quality overall, but I will say that maybe opting for a lower trim level with smaller wheels might result in actually better overall ride quality.
Yeah, it's really doing a good job of getting out these small vibrations in this kind of wavy road.
All right, and once we get sped up to 55 miles per hour, we will go ahead and get our sound level reading. I'm sure a lot of you guys are curious about that, especially here when it comes to the fully loaded Summit Reserve. This is really almost going head-to-head with some luxury rivals, so let's see how quiet it is overall. 56.9 decibels is what we are sitting at as our official sound level reading here in the Grand Cherokee L Summit Reserve. And I don't have to sit here and guess how it compares to the rivals. I can go to carconfections.com/sound level readings, to take a look at all of the vehicles this competes against. And as far as how that compares to other vehicles in the 3-row mid-size segment, that is going to place it pretty much middle of the pack. There's a few offerings that are going to be quieter. There's definitely some offerings that will be louder as well. And, it's kind of sitting in here. I do feel like it has a pretty luxurious overall experience, that combined with the ride quality and the amount of noise entering in. But now let's go ahead and get into our Car Confections Slam Dunk and Airball, which is our favorite and least favorite element about the Grand Cherokee L. Drew, what's our favorite element?
Well, we'll be specific to this model year, and that will be the fact that we've got those big price drops. This, I think, is a correction that is going to be really well received with people, because this has always been, a pretty strong offering, but when you got to the dealership and looked at the price tag, it was a good deal shocking, more than a lot of the competition. So now we're bringing that more in line with those, especially the mainstream offerings. I think that's really going to help elevate the sales of this.
Yeah. On the Airball side of things, there's a lot of things to like, but one thing that we are noticing that's starting to age is just some of the technology in here. This center screen does lag a little bit, and, some of the latest and greatest tech that you'll find in the rivals won't be present here just because this model is, starting to show its age a little bit. It came out in 2021, and they have not refreshed it yet, so, I assume that will be coming here shortly, but for now, it is going to be a little bit more on the dated side when it comes to technology. Lastly, as far as your warranty, if you're looking to buy one, you have a 3-year 36 basic and a 5-year 60,000-mile powertrain warranty. All right, so now it's time to talk about pricing. You probably saw in the video title, Jeep has reduced the price of this Grand Cherokee L significantly for 2025. That's something you almost never see. Price increases are pretty common across every vehicle brand, so I'm happy to see they've reduced it to make it more affordable. So this year, we're starting at under $40,000 for the base Laredo model. As we move up the trim structure, you end in the Summit Reserve model, which starts at $65,000. Now, if you're curious as to how much of a decrease that is over what it was before, 2024 was around $71,000 to $72,000, depending on what time of the year you bought it. So that's around $5,000 to $6,000 less than it was before. Now, as you can see, we have the 25 model. There's our base price. We also have the four-wheel drive system, as well as a couple options on board. $1,795 for destination. We're sitting at $67,430 as tested today. Now, if you're looking to buy a Jeep Grand Cherokee L or any new vehicle, we would encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes. Now, the reason you do that is because we have a tool on our website that'll connect you with local car dealers in your area to get you the best price. It's also going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool for dealership negotiation. If you'd like to take advantage of that, a link is provided in our video description, and we also have a pinned comment at the top of this video. But buying a car is about more than just the original MSRP, so let's go ahead and dive into resale and reliability. So let's start by talking about potential resale value. As an economics graduate myself, Drew and I took the time to develop what we think is a good estimate for this Jeep Grand Cherokee's potential resale value. We estimate that after 5 years and 60,000 miles, it would be worth 53.6% of original MSRP, and after 10 years and 120,000 miles, 25.4%. Now, it's worth noting that is actually above industry average when it comes to resale value by percentage. And, it is going to be less than some of the Japanese rivals. Keep that in mind. However, it's not bad at all.
Now, we've also done the same for reliability by developing the Combined Reliability Index. What this is several different studies about reliability from trustworthy sources that are combined to give you a more holistic picture. In this regard, Jeep actually ranks identical to the overall industry average for all vehicle makes.
Now, if you'd like to learn more about our resale values, as well as our reliability data and our methodology, be sure to go to carconfections.com/resale and carconfections.com/reliability. Buying a new vehicle is a very big decision, so you want to make sure you're making a smart purchase, especially if you're cross-shopping between different vehicle brands. Well, guys, we hope you enjoyed watching this in-depth review of the 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee L with its huge price drop this year. If you enjoyed watching this video or found it helpful in your purchasing decisions, we'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. By subscribing, you're going to help us to make more reviews like this, keep you posted on the latest automotive news, as well as make comparison videos. So if you enjoy seeing all that, subscribe down below. If you're already part of our family, thank you so much for your continued support, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.